How's it going, guys? I've got another weapon review for you today, and this one's going to be of the Necrochasm. I'm going to show you how to obtain this weapon, and then later on I will give you my impressions on it. So let's get right into this. The first thing you want to do is get a Husk of the Pit, which can only be obtained through the Blades of Crota, either on the Earth or the Moon. And these spawn in randomly unless you do the first mission of the Dark Below DLC, which you will see one every single time. So once you have this, all you need to do is level this up by killing a bunch of Hive, and then you can purchase an Embalming Orb from Eris herself once you reach rank 3. You will then get a weapon called the Eidolon Ally, and this weapon also needs to be leveled up all the way until the very end. And once you have this, you need to obtain an item called the Crux of Crota, which can only drop from Crota in the hard mode raid. Once you use the Crux of Crota on the Eidolon Ally, it will be fully leveled up and ready to go. So let's just go over the perks real quick. The key trait is called Cursebringer, and this frequently triggers a Curse Thrall explosion every single time you kill an enemy with the precision damage. And this is a great perk, and honestly the only thing saving this weapon from being a complete failure. But let's talk about the good. So, the good. Well, it has a cool name. It looks cool. It looks a lot different than the Murmur or the Eidolon Ally, as it has green flames shooting up the side. I also kind of like the sights, because it's really open and easy to kill enemies with. Unfortunately, this is kind of where the good ends. I mean, it does have the Cursebringer perk, but it doesn't work half the time because there's so many bullets that you're shooting at once. The odds of you hitting the last bullet as the precision kill doesn't happen very often. And the explosion's also delayed, just like how the Firefly perk was before it was patched to instantly proc. Giving this weapon a negative review just because it's so overshadowed by its exotic counterpart. And a lot of other guns like Fatebringer just completely make this gun irrelevant. Now I'm testing this weapon on Thralls on purpose just because this is where the gun should shine and where it should be the best. But as you see here, I'm using the Fatebringer and I'm just ripping them up. Way better than Necrochasm is doing. So honestly, is it worth the exotic slot for if you're being serious and trying to run through a raid? No, it's not. And I'll show you why in just a second as we look at the Vex Mythoclast gameplay. So the Vex Mythoclast set the standard for raid exotics with the Vault of Glass raid. And honestly, it's hard to compare the two just because there's only been 2 raid exotics. So are they all supposed to be overpowered? Probably not. Are they supposed to be better than regular exotics? I would guess that that's what they're trying to do with it. Is the Necrochasm better than most exotics? No. How about PvP? No. Just no. If there were to be an official PvP exotic tier list, this would be probably at the bottom. The reason this weapon just isn't that good is because it's supposed to be a high rate of fire, low impact auto rifle, but its clip size is tiny. So you find yourself just barely killing an enemy with the bullets in the clip. Now if they were to buff this weapon, I'd suggest increasing the magazine size or the impact, because without one of these two, the weapon is never going to shine to its true potential. So here we come down to it. Is this weapon worth all of that work? All of that work getting the Husk of the Pit, to the Eidolon Ally, and then finally the Necrochasm. In my opinion, yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, you might as well if you can, right? And this weapon is honestly just fun to use, you know, to play around with friends, but I would never, ever use this in a competitive manner, whether this is a raid or PvP. But in my opinion, I would suggest getting this weapon if you have the tools to do so, and if you are lucky enough to obtain the Crux. With that insight, I would like to end the video here, and I want to thank you all for watching. and I'll see you in the next one.